Hello YouTube and Prepper Nation, Perrin Lovett, Freedom Prepper, and FPTV. Welcome to Prepper News Weekly for Friday, October 20th, 2017. I'm outside today on the deck, so in front of a slightly busy road, so you may hear some noise in the background, maybe some passing people chattering away. Ambiance for the Prepper Nation. And it's been one of those mornings. I think I've been up for about 8 hours already, and I'm just now getting around to recording this for the first time. No second, third, fourth takes. It's been a week, a little calmer, I guess, than the past few. I'm just going to basically run through some headlines. As usual, I've got some links down below. There was another hurricane in the Atlantic. I think finally the Atlantic hurricane season is winding down for 2017, but we had another one. Oddly, this one was way off to the east and actually headed up to Ireland and the UK. I posted something about that this week, but I didn't really hear about any major damage. I think it was a Category 1, maybe 2, 80-90 mile per hour winds at the most. But a very active hurricane season, and they're still cleaning up in Houston, still cleaning up in Florida, and Puerto Rico is still slowly coming back online. It's almost as if you had a 1 second after scenario down there. Oh, and I've got another story about EMPs that I'll get to in just a second. Other natural disasters, of course, they're just now starting to get an upper hand, or so they think, on the many California wildfires. Many people have been killed, and I think thousands of structures and houses have been destroyed. A very serious fire, one of the worst that they've ever had in the Golden State. Looking around the headlines from the week and for today. Yesterday, I missed the anniversary part. I had a related story, but yesterday was the 30th anniversary of the stock market crash of 1987. Some of you may remember that. I do. And there was a question floating around CNBC and some of the financial papers. Could it happen again? And the growing consensus opinion is, yes, not only could it happen again, but we're actually overdue for it to happen again. Mark Faber was just on the street, I think it was, this week, talking about the party being over on Wall Street. This is what Jim Rogers, Ron Paul, and a bunch of other people have been saying pretty much all year. 23,000 is starting to look artificially inflated with the Dow. And we are now historically overdue for some form of correction. So hopefully it won't be as dramatic as the 87 scenario. I think the Dow lost over a quarter of its value back then. If that were to happen now, that would be, what's a quarter of 23,000? 6,500 points. That'd be quite a drop. Although oddly enough, the stock market has only gained those 6,500 points in the past 18 months, less than 18 months. So there is something artificial looking about that. I'll get to the EMP thing in a second, but while I'm on economics, I occasionally mention the word, and sometimes you may hear it, corporatism. We don't have capitalism in America anymore. We have corporatism. And there is a story that I might add to the news site later today that's a very good illustration of what corporatism is. Amazon is looking for a second headquarters, HQ2. Their main headquarters is in Seattle. They probably want to come to the south or maybe to the east, and you've got all of these cities and states competing. Austin, Atlanta, Boston, the New York area, and the governments are bending over backwards to get this large business in. They say they're going to bring 50,000 jobs, billions of dollars. It might be a good thing if it works out, but just think about this. Newark New Jersey and the city of Newark are offering something like $7 billion in tax abatements and not having to pay property or certain kinds of corporate taxes just to get Amazon in. Atlanta, or the state of Georgia, it seems so desperate, they're actually willing to legally carve out a brand new city for Amazon's corporate campus. I guess it would be the city of Amazon, a real company town. Just think about that. Would any government do that for you, not a large corporation? I mean, would the city of Newark say, hey, we'd love to have you come live in our city. You don't have to pay any property taxes, at least not for the next 100 years. No, they don't do that. A little taste of the corporatism. All right, the EMP. There was an EMP commission that testified before Congress several years ago about our extraordinary vulnerability to an electromagnetic pulse, either from a nuclear weapon or from a solar flare, and absolutely nothing was done about it. They reconvened hearings, and the same experts came back and said the situation has not changed at all, it's dire, and they threw out the example of North Korea. Rocket Man apparently has at least one or more bombs capable of causing a nationwide EMP if detonated 200, 300 miles up, and he's got the missile delivery system to get it here. And it's very much like 1 second after, they said we would be looking at a total collapse of the power grid for many years, and within the first year there might be a 90% die-off. Now, you can trust your elected representatives to do absolutely nothing and get back to pandering to large corporations like Amazon, and to like all these drug companies that apparently are facilitating the mass distribution of opioids across the country. I think I've had a link to that. I want to go ahead and wrap this up sooner than later, so let me see if there's anything else critical. Of course, we just talked about Washington, and everything there is critical. Washington, D.C. is our own ongoing man-made natural disaster. Former Presidents Bush and Obama, I think, were in New York yesterday talking wildly and incoherently about something. I think they're actually the same person. I may throw up a link to that. They were basically slamming the state of modern America, and I gathered from their foolishness that it's whatever it is, it's all your fault and you're to blame. So I'm going to end on that note. Guys, have a great weekend. Check out the links. Keep looking at the brand new news site. We're going to add in a few more features, I think, starting late today or maybe tomorrow, next week. And I will see you back on Monday. Have a good weekend.